Welcome to another episode of Discovering the Book of Mormon Through Science and Exploration. The Book of Mormon states that the Nephites had an abundance of silk, fine twined linen, and all manner of goodly cloth. When the Spanish arrived in Peru, they found that the Incas had literally factories that produced perhaps the finest cloth on earth. In every major city of the Inca Empire was a Acllahuasi, or the House of the Chosen Women. In the Inca Empire, young women known as callas were selected for their beauty, skill, and lineage. They lived in these secluded compounds where they learned weaving and spinning of cloth for the nobility and religious ceremonies. The finest textiles, called qompi, were produced for their nobilities and the temples. These institutions were both religious sanctuaries and state-owned workshops. They symbolized purity, devotion, and imperial power. A search on Microsoft AI Copilot provides this description. The cloth woven by the Acllahuasi in the Acllahuasi was considered the finest textile in the entire Inca Empire, known as qompi. This fabric was so exquisite that the Spanish chroniclers compared it to silk and claimed it surpassed anything produced in Europe before industrial looms. It was woven from vicuña wool, the rarest and softest fiber in the Andes, and sometimes from superfine cotton. The thread count could reach up to 600 threads per inch, an astonishing density for hand weaving. Let me repeat that. The Spanish chroniclers compared the Inca cloth to silk and claimed that it surpassed anything produced in Europe. During my mission in Peru, a convert gifted me with a poncho made from vicuña wool. It felt like silk. The Peruvians were also masters at producing the finest cotton cloth, which is also compared in quality to silk. Growing and breeding cotton and learning how to produce textiles from it is a complex process. Only 4 species of cotton have ever been domesticated, 2 in the Americas and 2 in the Middle East and South Asia. Cotton was unknown in Europe until the 13th century AD. The men aboard Columbus' ship wore flax and wool clothes. Historian Charles Mann writes, South American cotton once grew wild along the continent's Pacific and Atlantic coasts. In the Andean past, the long, fluffy bolls of South American cotton, some varieties naturally tinted pink, blue, or yellow, were the soft underpinning of Andean culture. Even the ancient Jaredites produced silk and fine linen. Certainly, the Book of Mormon's usage of the word silk does not refer to a thread produced by the web of an Asian worm. The sacred record was written in Reformed Egyptian and contained Arabic characters. The Noel Webster's English Dictionary of 1828 states that silk, properly any thread, from Arabic salaka. In some Arabic dialects, salaka means soft and sela means thread or wire. Thus, the original definition of Book of Mormon silk probably meant a soft thread. It also attests to the accuracy of Joseph Smith's translation of the Book of Mormon. Cotton textiles were produced in ancient Corral in Peru. That would be the time of the Jaredites. They were of such quality that they were the main element of regional trade. It was the medium in which the Peruvians created visual arts and was used as a means of exchange and savings. David Calderwood writes of the Peruvians, Pedro Cesar de Leon stated that the Indians could weave as good a tapestry as any woven in Flanders from the wool of their flocks, and so fine a weave that it seemed of silk rather than of wool. Father Bernarte Cobo wrote of the clothing the Inca king wore. His clothing was different from the usual in that it was made of the finest wool and the best cloth that was woven in his whole kingdom, with more brilliant colors and finer quality weaving. The Mamaconas, daughters of the sun, made his clothing for him, and most of it was made from vicuña wool, which is almost as fine as silk. According to archaeologists Silverman and Prolix, the Andean people were the world's master weavers. Their textiles had vibrant colors. Quote, needle knitting, or the cross-knot loops stitch, used to produce extraordinary three-dimensional textiles, plain weave, double cloth, glaze, and tapestries. Plain weave textiles could be superstructurally decorated by magnificent embroidery. Certainly, such fabrics could be classified as what the Book of Mormon called costly apparel. The Book of Mormon mentions that the Nephites had silks and fine twined linen. Indeed, at one point the Nephites became proud because of their silks and fine twined linen. In the case of the Zoramites, the rich were distinguished by their costly apparel, while the poor were cast out of their synagogues because of the coarseness of their apparel. Anthropologist Alan Sawyer discovered that the ancient Peruvians used textiles to distinguish status differentials in their society. While the Mesoamericans could make fine linen, they certainly did not reach the same mastery heights as the Incas. The same cannot be said of the Native Americans of North America, who only wore buckskin and nettle and hemp cloth. Discover more about the Book of Mormon by subscribing to this channel. It is free. You can do so by clicking the link below. Or you can visit our website, christinperu.com. That's one word, christinperu.com, where you can learn about our books and our tours to Peru. Thank you.